They called it her grand return, a moment Blake Lively hoped would silence the doubters and re-establish her dominance in Hollywood. Instead, the premiere of Another Simple Favor turned into a public parade of fury. While fans once greeted her with cheers, she now faces homemade protest signs and a sea of skeptical stares. What went so wrong, and how did a simple red carpet event become the biggest humiliation of Blake's career? For years, Blake Lively enjoyed the Hollywood limelight. She was the gracious, fashionable star at every event, the envy of fans and fellow actors alike. But at this year's premiere, the atmosphere shifted. Instead of applause, she walked out to see Justice for Justin Baldoni banners waving and outraged fans determined to expose what they believed was a mountain of hidden truths. That night wasn't just another appearance. It was a calculated comeback. Fresh off rumors of behind-the-scenes battles and an ongoing legal war, Blake wanted to prove she could still command the red carpet. Yet every forced smile, every wave to the audience seemed to boomerang back with a harsher glare. The old tactics weren't working anymore, and people saw straight through her polished facade. But a single red carpet can't outshine the drama swirling behind it. Standing a few steps away was Anna Kendrick, once cordial co-star, now rumored to be privately fuming. Reporters pressed Anna about how it felt to reunite with Blake, and her clipped, half-hearted response spoke volumes.
Anna, what does it mean to be working with Blake again?
Oh, we're talking about you all day.
Oh my God,
Oh, come on!
Get it in selfie mode. Be prepared.
She didn't bother with fake excitement. No cheerful remarks or friendly anecdotes. Just a few words and a telling sigh that confirmed the gossip. There was tension, and it was far from resolved. Anna's reaction rattled fans more than any explicit fight could have. The casual chill in her demeanor hinted at exasperation, built over years of forced on-camera smiles. While Blake offered broad grins for the photographers, Anna stood a little apart, as if physically unable to manufacture the closeness they'd once pretended to share. Viewers watching interviews couldn't ignore the distance between them, both literal and figurative. As if the glacial energy between Blake and Anna weren't enough, another spectacle stole the headlines. A group of protesters holding signs that declared "Justice for Justin Baldoni" and "Blake lied." For onlookers, it was surreal. A Hollywood premiere, normally a glamorous celebration, had morphed into a public tribunal of Blake's actions. Phones whipped out, social media lit up, and soon enough, CHC Blake lied trended across multiple platforms. It's one thing to face whispers of scandal online, but having protesters physically appear at your big event? That's an unmistakable sign that your narrative is slipping away. People who'd once admired her in Gossip Girl or her earlier film roles now insisted on answers about the alleged legal battle with Justin Baldoni. Instead of ignoring it, they showed up in person, forcing the issue into the spotlight. And it worked. Within hours, mainstream coverage of the premiere fixated on the tension rather than the film itself. Behind the flashbulbs, the real damage was unfolding. Hollywood has begun washing its hands of Blake Lively. The protest alone didn't seal her fate, but it symbolized a broader shift among studios and insiders. Rumors swirled that major brands, once thrilled to slap Blake's face on a campaign, are now backing away, whispering that she's too high risk to invest in. The hush-hush chatter among executives is that her controversies might overshadow any role she takes on, hurting box office potential and sponsor deals alike. Those who worked with her in the past have gone silent, issuing statements so vague that they might as well be disclaimers. Directors who once praised her style and grace are now sidestepping direct endorsements, using filler words like talented or versatile, then changing the subject. It's the sort of distancing that, in Hollywood, speaks louder than any explicit condemnation. If this turmoil belonged solely to Blake, maybe the damage could be contained. But she isn't alone. Ryan Reynolds, once the golden comedic figure beloved by fans and the industry, stands at her side as the storm rages. Typically carefree and charismatic, he has become more guarded in interviews, his trademark wisecracks lacking their usual spark. Marvel's top brass reportedly cringe each time new rumors break, nervous that any association with a swirling scandal might tarnish a box office juggernaut. His allies in the industry haven't openly abandoned him, but the mood has changed. Co-stars who once playfully bantered with him on social media have grown unnervingly quiet. A-listers rarely chime in with witty remarks on his posts anymore. While no official statement has linked the meltdown to his upcoming roles, the timing isn't lost on anyone. Ryan's comedic brand thrived on a squeaky clean, lovable persona. The moment it intersects with messy lawsuits and negative headlines, the comedic sheen wears off. Central to this uproar is a legal confrontation that reads like a real-life soap opera, Blake Lively's ongoing lawsuit with Justin Baldoni. Early on, Blake framed it as a quest for justice. Yet as time passed, the narrative seemed less about redressing wrongs and more about controlling the headlines. The alleged weaponization of certain movements, the questionable claims, and the contradictory evidence have all chipped away at Blake's credibility. Justin Baldoni's legal team responded with what some are calling a mountain of receipts, from emails to witness statements that clash with Blake's story. In Hollywood, lawsuits rarely stay purely legal. They become battlegrounds for public sympathy, and the tide seems to be turning in Justin's favor. Each newly revealed detail shifts public perception a bit more, pushing fans to wonder if Blake truly stands on moral high ground, or if she's orchestrating drama to keep her name relevant. With each passing day, the backlash against Blake grows more severe. Anonymous crew members from past projects have emerged, describing her as unmanageable, exhausting, or simply the worst person to work with. While every star has a horror story or two, the avalanche of accusations feels relentless. And once the rumor snowball begins rolling downhill, it can be nearly impossible to stop. Some claim she demands top billing in ways that alienate co-stars. Others suggest she micromanages directors, rewriting scenes or pressuring marketing teams to prioritize her image above the movie's greater good. True or not, these accounts build a portrait of a star who's burning bridges just as fast as she once built them. In an industry where reputation is currency, rumors of difficult behavior are the kiss of death. So where does it all lead for Blake Lively? The meltdown at the Another Simple Favor premiere was more than just a fiasco. It was a mirror reflecting every fracture in her public persona. The legal battle with Justin Baldoni is far from settled, and each twist draws more scrutiny to Blake's every move. Anna Kendrick's iciness on the red carpet suggests once friendly faces no longer want to play along, while the swirling protesters prove fans won't be ignored or silenced. For Blake, this might be the defining crossroads of her career. Some stars do claw their way back from devastating scandals through genuine transparency and humility. Others fade into obscurity, too encumbered by broken ties and a tarnished name. As for whether Blake can reverse her fortunes and salvage what's left, only time will tell. But no matter what happens, one thing is clear. Her reign as Hollywood's golden girl has come crashing down, and the fallout is only growing. But that isn't the whole story. Rumors are already swirling about her next moves. Some say there's a behind-the-scenes rebrand in the works, while others believe the damage is too severe to fix. In an industry that loves a good comeback as much as it does a juicy downfall, anything is possible. The question is, can Blake Lively write a new narrative that convinces the world she deserves another shot? Or is this the final chapter of an image that once seemed unbreakable?